I don't understand why everybody has to compare these games to each other. Why can't they live alongside each other like EverQuest in World of Warcraft or Guild Wars? I guess that's because this genre of online RPG shooters is so new. Or maybe it's because both games require so much of your time that you just don't have the time to play both.
I, for one, don't care about being the very best or max level or any of that, so I'll be able to invest my time in both. But Destiny's in a little bit of a lull right now, so I guess that's why people feel like moving over to The Division. But should you sell your copy of Destiny for The Division? That I'm not so sure about.
The Division is very much an RPG, even more so than Destiny. I am not an RPG person, but I have to say, Destiny gave me a newfound appreciation for the genre. Year 1 Destiny is much less of an RPG than Year 2 Destiny, with a million quests and hundreds of ways to get new weapons.
The Division feels more like Year 2 Destiny, but with less quests, and the weapons don't have any character to them because they're based in reality, which is fine. You can make the guns feel more personal by adding mods and stuff, but it's just different. Both Destiny and The Division suffer from a subpar story, which isn't that important in an MMO-style game. But with a world as interesting as Destiny, you'd expect a little bit more.
When Destiny first came out, the servers just worked. Nobody reported on it because that's the way it's expected to be. They should just work. But The Division came out, and they were able to handle server load for a little bit, but after a few days, it crapped out again. I haven't been able to play that much on PS4. It's kind of ridiculous. I spent an hour on Friday night trying to get on so I could have things to talk about for this video. Then I just gave up. Last time this happened to me where I wasn't able to log on for a whole day was Battlefield 4. We should be past this by now. People were really disappointed in the loot system in Destiny. They felt like they weren't getting a lot of stuff, or the stuff that they were getting was crap. I think it's because Destiny had a lot of cool stuff, and that stuff was hard to get. It was a crapshoot. With the Division's loot system, I find myself switching weapons all of the time. I'm always getting something cool. But I also think this could be attributed to how the guns aren't that interesting because they're based in reality. There's not one gun where I'm like, man, I really wish I can get that gun, so I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't get that gun. But it does feel really good to always be playing around with these new weapons and stuff. The matchmaking in the campaign is kind of broken too. It says the recommended level is 7. Here, I'm a level 9. I get match-made with another level 9 and a level 11. All of a sudden, all of the enemies are level 11. I leave the group, try it again with nobody on my team, and all of the enemies are level 9. How the hell does that make any sense? I've never seen a game work like this. In Destiny, if you're playing a level 7 mission, the mission is for level 7s, regardless of who's on your team. Like, why even have a recommended level? It's very frustrating. I can't even play with my friends because of this, unless they're exactly the same level as me. I guess this helps for replayability after the end game, but make this an option, don't make it default. I was really excited for both of these games. I want that MMO experience without that typical RPG gameplay.
And a tactical MMO-style shooter set in Manhattan is right up my alley. But when I finally got my hands on it, it's these game mechanics that got to me. It's a Ubisoft game, and like any of these third-person Ubisoft games, you're burdened with these clunky and stiff controls.
For some reason, I always try to hide behind cover by hitting circle, because circle is usually duck in most games. But that flings you over cover, leaving you right out in the open. Holding down X while you're already in cover will have you switch cover. But if you let go of X while you're switching positions, you're left standing out in the open again. When you get revived, your character stands straight up, leaving you vulnerable to enemy fire.
And it's not like you can quickly duck or quickly hide behind cover. It's clunky, so you don't immediately snap to that cover. It's all these little things put together that make the experience a little bit annoying. You want the character to do something, and he's just not doing it immediately. Your character in-game is supposed to feel like an extension of you, and all of these things are hindering you from that.
The Dark Zone in The Division is where it's at. It's an exciting PvP free-for-all. When you run into somebody, you don't know what their intentions are. Are they gonna leave you alone? Are they gonna murder you and steal all of your stuff? This brings me back to the days of Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer. You never know if someone you come across is going to help or hurt you. So you just keep your sights trained on them and try to play it cool. I love that suspense. The Dark Zone is also the place where you get the best loot. So all this stress is totally worth it. I haven't gotten a chance to play around too much in the Dark Zone because I am not too far into the game and I definitely don't want to go in there until I'm max level. There's just no way I would stand a chance. I did play around in the Dark Zone a decent amount during the beta where the level cap was very low. They do try to toss you into the Dark Zone with players who are around the same level, but you're still at a disadvantage if you're up against a player who's even one level higher than you. You also do not want to go into the Dark Zone alone. You want a team with you. If you don't have one, you can auto matchmake, but this feels disingenuous. These people don't actually have your back, they don't know you. My issues with the PvP go back to the clunky controls. I can never see myself wanting to square off against people with such unpredictable movement. You know how in Assassin's Creed you're like running around and climbing things or jumping over stuff you never intended to jump over? It feels like that. There's no place for that in PvP. And this is precisely why I don't think this game will last as long as a game like Destiny. I give Destiny a lot of crap. Sometimes the RPG elements aren't the most fun, and Bungie's balancing patches can be a little frustrating sometimes. But Destiny has it where it counts. Its game mechanics are fine-tuned to a T. Bungie is really good at that. I genuinely feel like my in-game character is an extension of myself. It does what I want it to do 100% of the time. This is not to say that The Division is a bad game. It's far from it. It's a great tactical shooter, something different than all of these other AAA games we've had in the past. There is nothing like the Dark Zone in Destiny or really any game out right now. Maybe Grand Theft Auto 5, but I think it's safe to assume everyone in there is a loose cannon. I'm enjoying myself so far with The Division, and I'm going to beat it. I just perceive myself putting it down right after the end game because its interesting PvP is muddied by its unpolished controls and mechanics. But again, still a great game. Still gonna play through its campaign to the end. So what do you guys think about The Division? Does it hold its own against other AAA games like Destiny? A lot of people like to compare the two. I think they could live side by side with each other, but again, those mechanics are killing me. But The Division is a great breath of fresh air. Are you guys enjoying yourself with it so far, or do you have the same problems that I do? Leave it in the comments below, add me on Twitter, all this other social media garbage. I know I didn't dive too far into the RPG elements of Destiny versus the RPG elements of The Division. That's because I don't really care about that stuff. I just want to shoot people. I was in Manhattan shooting for a different video that you will see very soon, but I figured, why not film some of The Division stuff here? It takes place in Manhattan. Anyway, we got new videos every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wulff Den Live every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And Twitch streams once a week whenever the hell I feel like it. Thank you guys very much, and have a very good week. A little bit before the Dark Below expansion came out, I learned that this was a bad strategy, and for important missions, I would switch to my next best primary weapon, the Monte Carlo. I spent almost an entire year searching for a good hand cannon, but my RNG was so bad that I never found any good legendary or exotic hand cannons. Oh, and here it is. Another one we've all been waiting for. Mario and Sonic are back at it again. Can somebody please explain to me why Sonic and Metal Sonic are struggling to catch these people? He's a fat plumber. These guys literally run all day. This guy has an actual jet engine on his friggin' back.